Hey friends, and welcome back to Timberborn. The last episode we finally finished our bad water defenses. Our big dam, I guess in the southwest, although there's not really a compass in this game, but I treat this as the southwest. So our big dam over here, which doubles as water storage, and also our dam over here, which is also a little water storage. So hopefully we should be safe from a bad water season now, and this should also give us a little more wiggle room when we have a drought, because we can release some water to the colony when this river dries up. So that's good. And today, I think because last time was a bit of a, I guess, I wouldn't say panic, but a bit of a stretch to save the colony because we were suddenly running out of food and water. I think I want to focus on sort of consolidating our colony now. So make sure everything is running as it is supposed to, get our food and water in check, and also get the metal on the go probably. So yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we shouldn't have any really bad things happen. So we will have a bit of respite to get everything back in order. I think I'm gonna start swapping out these pines for oaks as well, because I feel like we have a good enough rotation going now, and the oaks just give way more wood, so... But we'll have to wait for these to grow before we can replace them. Or we have to wait until they get cut down, actually. Okay, and so what is our water looking like? We have 1020 max storage. So how many days can we last with that? So if we divide that by... I think we said we have around 63 beavers, okay. And then divide that by 2, we can last 8 days on our storage. So that should be sufficient. The longest drought we've had until now was a 6-day drought. And with the water we store behind our dams, we should be able to continue pumping for a little bit during a drought. So it's not that bad, but I am gonna add yet another one. And I would like to get a large tank, but we don't have metal yet, so I'm gonna stick with the medium tank for now. We're just gonna add it to the back of the line. And we might actually consider, once this is all oak, to remove a little line of oaks over here and replace these small tanks with medium tanks as well. Okay, so what about our food? How much can we store? 1200 of each. So that would be 9.5 days of food. And up until now, farming just continued during a drought. So 9 days of stored food plus whatever we keep harvesting during the drought should tide us over a pretty severe drought or bad water when it happens. I think that should be fine. It's more about, can we actually fill them now? So our water seems to be going up. We're almost at 400 now, so I think 4 pumpers should be doing it for us. And I'm still a bit confused why the math we did for these is so far off reality, but knowing me, I probably did something really wrong in my maths, and it's just because of that it's not working. But we'll see. And especially the carrots are of concern, because last time we saw the carrots running out pretty quickly. We are back at 250 carrots at the moment, so we are going back up, so that's good. Wait, what are we storing here? Sunflower seeds. Aren't we also storing them here? Yeah, okay, so this one needs to empty. I guess I forgot to destroy this one last time. We can plant some more carrots over there. Alright, so what are our builders actually working on right now? You guys are walking this way. Where are you going? Oh, sneaky, sneaky. I thought by pausing these, they wouldn't work on this, but I guess they can just reach this from the edge. Okay, well, that's fine, I guess. Because I don't really want to work on big projects at the moment, so I don't want to build this entire dam or this one. Because this will take a lot of work and logs and planks, and as you can see, our logs and planks are a bit empty at the moment. And like I said, I want to focus on consolidating what we have right now. So I want to do cleanup and not expansion. So it's fine if they build this, and they started working on the contemplation spots, which is nice. Why is this? Oh, it's a long way to the district center. Okay, well, that's fine. Consider optimizing your paths or splitting the district into smaller ones. I remember the last time I played this, which is a couple of years ago, there was actually a maximum length. So it would, the same as it does now, at green path, yellow, orange, red. But then I think about this distance, it would actually just stop. And the beavers couldn't go any further, and you would need to build a new district. But the problem is that a new district has its own sort of economy. So you would need houses in the district, but also food and water and stuff like that. So it's kind of a juggling act to have several districts on the go. So I was very happy with this release that the distance is now infinite, because we wouldn't even have been able to build our big dams in the previous versions of the game, because we would have to build new districts all the way near those dams in order to be able to reach it. But then you would need like courier beavers to bring supplies to the other district. Ooh, average well-being of 10. Nice. That means that we have some... Yeah, the lanterns are in, and lots of beavers are doing some contemplating, so they are happier. Cool. And our rooftop terraces are back in. Nice. So what does this mean for their... Ah, they have plus 40% working speed now. Nice. And we need 12 well-being for movement speed and 17 for life expectancy. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch at the moment. We could look at some more decorations over here, because this is shaping up pretty nicely. That requires logs and paper. Okay, we're not producing paper. This one, logs and planks. Okay, we could do a weather vane. Only 250 science. We have 800. I'm trying to put it in such a place that every beaver will pass it, I guess. What if we do one here and one here? Then when the beavers are off to work, they will pass by a weather vane and get the bonus. How does this work? Rope. Yeah, so this slowly decays when they're not near a shrub. But this guy, yeah, he has full shrub and almost full lantern because he was building over here. Now you see it going up right now because they're near it. And then it will slowly decrease when they're out and about. So we would actually need these decorations to be close to their working places as well. Or we would need to do it in such a way that this range covers their house, so they accumulate while they sleep. And then maybe that will be enough to last the entire day. Something to think about. We might have to do a sort of central decoration area, I guess, so all the houses benefit. We'll see. Let's just have them finish this before we start adding more. They've started removing the berry bushes. That's nice. I don't think they harvest berries when they destroy it, so that's a bit of a waste, but I don't want to wait for someone to gather all these berries before we remove them. We actually don't have any unemployed beavers at the moment, so we wouldn't have anyone to do that work anyway. And speaking of beavers, I think I need to add a bunch of new names. So give me a moment and I'll be back with a lot of new beavers. Okay, so we have a bunch of new beavers, but I accidentally closed this window, and every time you close this window, it orders the population alphabetically. So I don't remember all the names that got added, but I think we've added about 12 juniors. So at least Barracuda Jr., Bartholomew Jr. are new, Beatrice Jr., Benedict and Benjamin Jr., which is funny because Benjamin already means something like the youngest. So it's the youngest junior, which is kind of double. And I think we have a bunch of baby beavers as well. Brenda Jr., Beckham, Bellamy, Bennett, Bernard, Beyonce, Bianca, Bobby, Brittany S. Spears, and Bird all got juniors. So we've got a pretty junior-focused colony at the moment. Ooh, we got one workplace empty even. So that tells me we would actually need to increase our population a bit more to be completely functional for our current workforce. But I'm a bit afraid to increase the population before we know for sure we can manage the current population. Oh, this one got built. How does this work? Okay, so it's at 0.66. Greatest was 0.69. And it doesn't have flow because it's right up in the corner. Okay, fair enough. And no contamination. And 0.66, I guess, is the height of the dams, so it should never be much higher than this, because that would mean we're flooding this place somehow. Yeah, you're doing great work, guys. Keep it up. And our water supply is going up very nicely, so that's good. Our carrots are slow to catch up, so I'm a bit, I wouldn't say scared, but I am happy they are removing the berries so we can plant more. And I think what I'm gonna do, and this might seem a bit weird, but I think I'm gonna build a little wall of levees over here. Because I did notice that the water physics sometimes do weird things. Especially when the dams upriver start releasing water. It tends to flood this place. And then these farms stop working because they are flooded. We can destroy this. And that's not good. So I think I'm gonna build a little wall of levees over here just to protect this area behind it from severe flooding. And these crops will still flood a little bit, but the worst of it seems to be in this area, so I think a little wall should keep us growing all the time, even when the dams upriver open and close. Let's fast forward through the night. Watch the beavers chill. So they are working hard on this. Let's plant more carrots. And I'm gonna start placing those levees. And I think diagonals should be fine. I don't think water can pass through diagonals. And let's high prioritize these two so we can place the remaining two levees. And I'm not sure whether the haulers or the builders are supposed to pick up all this rubble, but it would be nice if they start cleaning that up. Or we can just let it disintegrate, I guess, but that seems so wasteful. Yeah, it looks like our carrots are just steady. They're not increasing or decreasing at the moment. And sunflowers are just an occasional snack for now. We don't produce nearly enough of those, but we have planted a bunch more over here, so I'm also not sure if they eat sunflowers. Do they need carrots as well? Like, can they eat sunflowers in the morning, carrots at night? Or do they always eat carrots and then they eat sunflowers on top of that? Do they just try to keep them both as full as possible? Because if they eat both, then we need less carrots, right? because they'll sometimes eat sunflowers, sometimes carrots. So logically, we could do half sunflowers, half carrots, and we should be fine. So it might be worth to... Wait, let's cancel these. I think I'm gonna do this area and sunflowers as well. And then I'll try and keep an eye on our stored food. If carrots seem to be doing better when there are sunflowers, then we might reduce the amount of carrots a bit and get more sunflowers going. Oh, I see a lot of beavers with logs. I think those are builders, so I'm guessing the builders clear up the rubble? Yeah, they're cleaning it up. Okay, cool. I'm not sure why they're not removing this, though. Oh, it's too far. Oh. Because I removed that one little path. I guess we'll do a path just running straight through the farm. Yeah, this is about the edge of what they can reach. Okay. Whoops. Ooh, new well-being high score, 11. Ah, they built the weather vanes. Okay, so let's see. Belle, you are sleeping near all these things. Yeah, so you're full on shrub, lantern, and the weather vane by the time you wake up. Let's follow Belle today, and let's see how these aesthetics do throughout the day. Where do you work? You're a forester. Okay, so you work far away. Oh wait, are you the new forester? Yes, you are. Oh, nice. I didn't realize we built this already. Okay, good job. But yeah, this decreases very slowly. Let's fast forward through this day and see what Belle gets up to. And how these aesthetics fare throughout the day. You can see that it's nighttime now and they decreased by like 25%, maybe 30%. So yeah, if we can design this in such a way that they all get the decoration when they are sleeping, then we should always have the aesthetics as high as possible. Because you see the shrub is not... Ooh. Our first badtide is approaching. The shrub was not increasing because she is outside of the range of the shrub. So we want to build this in such a way that every house gets every decoration during the night. So we might have to build this a little bit more compactly, or we need to do some decoration hotspots, I guess. Okay, but we'll think about that a little later. First I want to see... Yeah, we got this path. That's their savvy. And they also can't reach these, it seems. Can we, when we do this? No. Now we can. Okay, cool. Okay, but this forester is in, so that's nice. I think I'm gonna have a little bit more berries over here, because I want to get our berry supply up as well. And our carrots are increasing finally, so that's good. But yeah, the water is a bit concerning because it is going up, but we didn't fill our storage before we have a new problem season, so we might have to get another water pumper on the go. And I mean, it will just take an inventor, so it's not that much of a problem. So let's get another one. Why don't you fit over? Oh, I'm putting it the wrong way around. Okay, but I think that will be the last one we put over here. I could fit one more, but it's becoming a bit tight. I will, however, connect this path, because that will make it way easier for these beavers to get their afternoon drink. They don't have to walk all the way around to get there. Ooh, look at them swimming. Swimming with the logs. Oh, they're so cute. Even building underwater. Oh, they already built it. Wow, look at you guys go. So efficient. Okay, but once all these berry bushes are planted, I'm gonna pause this forester because they won't have a job. And how long do these take to grow? They take 12 days to grow and then 12 more days for the first berry. So I am gonna pause this gatherer for now. Sorry, Brad Jr. And let's continue this little wall. And this could even be the beginnings of something I talked about in one of the earlier episodes, where I considered building a sort of seawall around the entire river, so we can raise this up. But that's also a big future project, because then we would need them on this side of the river as well. We would need to extend that all the way to this dam, so that would mean chopping all these trees as well. And making the dam one block higher as well. I mean, it's not built yet, so that's not really an issue at the moment. Okay, so how are we doing over here? Let's plant these sunflowers. And what do I want to do with this gap? I do want a bigger storage for gear, so we might put that over here. It's a bit of a walk for... I mean, I guess we have haulers now, so... Sure, let's put it over here. Because I think a lot of the buildings we are going to be looking at soon require gears. And same as with the planks, I think it's better to have a large storage so that in the seasons that you are actually producing them, you can just produce a whole bunch and fill your storage, and you can just have them in reserve. It's not like they spoil or anything. Ooh, we've got all 4 water fields, so how much power? Almost 1,000 from the 4 water wheels, that's nice. Yeah, so these two are producing a bit less power, which makes sense because the river will always flow faster in the inside of the corner than in the outside, so that is to be expected. But I think we're using... It doesn't say at the moment, but I think we're using around 200. Let's see what happens when the beavers start working again. 270, and we're producing between 800 and 1,000, so... This is fine for a while. We can even add some more industrial buildings here when we need to. Beavers injured. How are we doing over here? Is 2 beds enough? Oh, there's only 1 in use, so I guess it is. Good, because I don't want injured beavers walking around. And talking about storages, I think I'm gonna add another storage for logs. Can we do underground pile? Oh, that's interesting. Must be built underground, 2 meters underground. I guess the problem is you can't build anything on top of it, but... The footprint is the same, but it stores 1,000 rather than 180, so that is very nice. It needs logs, planks and gears and 1,000 signs. We almost have 1,000 signs, so it might be worth it to wait a little bit for the signs and unlock this to have a big storage. And I think we'll just temporarily delete this one and then build a new one in its place. I see all the builders sitting on their butts, so I'm guessing all our building projects are... Oh, we're harvesting metal. Oh, look at the beavers gathering from the ruins. Not sure how they're doing it. They're just picking away at it and then it shrinks. But keep up the good work, guys. So we have 24 scrap metal at the moment. I might add another one of these. And they were in metal, of course. Okay, so maybe instead of going for the large wood storage, it might be worth it to get a smelter. Because then we can get the metal blocks on the go. That needs 200 power and a beaver. Oh, that's a big... Oh, that's cool. So can we get you in here somewhere? Let's see. We don't need these stairs anymore. And then we can also remove this path. And then, how big was it? We could build it on the corner over here, but we'd need something over here. So let's get a platform. Would it be worth it to do a levee instead? Wait, let's do a levee. Because it will redirect the water a bit more towards our water wheels. So it might increase the flow just a tiny bit. I'm not sure. And then we can put our smelter on top of this. And it should be powered from this little connection I built earlier. And you are gonna be prioritized by haulers. You need planks, gears, and scrap metal. And you produce metal blocks. Oh wait, no, this is to build it, of course. What do you need when you're working? Scrap metal and logs, and you produce metal blocks. So maybe we can... Because the scrap metal is stored a long way away. Can we do a small pile for scrap metal over here? I think maybe we do these oriented like this, so we have room for more buildings over here. Because this is just blocking off this space. And then we need a place for the metal blocks as well. So what if we do... Let's see, are these piles? And this is a warehouse for gears, pile for planks, pile for logs. So let's do logs over here, then scrap metal, and then metal blocks. Are they in piles as well? Yeah, okay. And then this is metal blocks, this is scrap metal, and this is gonna be logs. And then we are gonna delete this one and build a path over here. And we are gonna tell this one to supply to other warehouses. This one will obtain from other warehouses. And this one will also obtain from other warehouses. Then we are gonna move the plank storage. And we will put that... Guess we'll put it over here. Planks. And then we're gonna tell this one to be prioritized by haulers and supply. So the haulers will take from this large pile and bring it to the small pile over here, and then this guy can easily get it. So we're not gonna prioritize him. The metal blocks can be put in the small pile over here, and then the haulers will bring it from here to a bigger storage we're gonna build somewhere over here, I guess. So I might actually remove a bit of our crops, which seems crazy, I know. And then we'll build up storage for metal blocks over here, because I want to keep all our storage sort of centralized. And this might change in the future, because I don't know if this is actually the smart way to do it, but this is how we're gonna do it for now, at least. And I noticed our berries have gone up, but I'm not sure how, because we're not actually gathering any berries, so that's kind of magical. But I don't mind it. I am gonna change this one to be prioritizing planting, because they're not planting these, and that's not a good thing. Look at our line of haulers bringing all the metal blocks over here, so that's good. We might need... Yeah, because all these guys are now moving the water themselves. So we might need more haulers in the near future. Our water is doing good though with the additional pumper. We are almost at full storage now, so I'm glad I added that extra one. We're also close to the bad tide, so we have to keep an eye on that. We have to remember that we have to change over the setting of our dams tonight, because otherwise we're gonna be in big trouble. We have built our plank supply, and this one is gonna empty, so we can remove it. I don't know if we need another building over here, because I don't know how fast this guy will produce metal blocks and how much we actually need them, but I want to be ready for it just in case. Okay, our carrots are finally increasing again, so that's nice. So I guess adding more fields of carrots and some sunflowers has saved us, so that's good, because it was a bit touch and go at some point. And I am gonna pause the forester. This building is empty. Hey, and our smelter is done. So Belle is going to provide us with metal blocks. Or at least she'll start doing so tomorrow, because the day has just ended. But that's nice. Then we can start looking at some new buildings. And we might revisit the valves as well, because they took metal. So we might redesign this dam. We might start incorporating valves. Okay, but it's our final night of the normal season, so the bad night will be upon us soon. So let's have a look at our dams. I want to keep the water flowing as long as I can, but... Or actually, it might be better to start at the other dam, because this one is closer to the sources. But I'm not sure we have the time to keep it flowing for as long as we can, because we need to switch them both over before we get bad water in our colony. But it will be our first look at how these dams function, so I'm curious how this will go. Okay, so the bad tide has started, and we can see the bad water coming out of the sources and corrupting the river and tainting it. It's only gonna last one day, so that's nice. We can see how it slowly makes its way to our dams. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna pause the game, and we are gonna close these dams and just completely open these, and we'll get a big flood in this direction. But that's fine, and it will drain out all this water, and it should also drain the bad water. And I was gonna say we're gonna do the same on this side, but it's such a distance that the bad water hasn't even come close to the dam yet. Let's see this side. Where does this water go? I think we noticed this would flow out of the map. Yeah, it should just go that way, okay. Yeah, there's the first bad water seeping out of the dam, so this is working. Nice. Yeah, so let's see how the other side's doing. It's not even close yet. It is starting to make its way through, and I think the problem is that there's so much regular water stored here that it takes a while for this to mix and become polluted. But I am just gonna keep an eye on this, because otherwise I'll take like 30 seconds too long and this entire thing will be nasty water. But looking at our supplies, we have 600 carrots again and more than 1,000 water, so I think we can safely conclude that we saved the colony from last episode's baby boom. Okay, so it's slowly approaching our dam. I think I am gonna switch these over now. Better safe than sorry and all that. Okay, so how's the other side looking? Yeah, this is fully polluted water now. There's a little bit of regular water over here, but this is just a nasty river now. And you can see this land is still green because this is still mixed water, so there's still some regular water in here. But the more of this makes its way through this system, the worse this will get. And you can already see here patches are drying out because there's not enough regular water in here anymore, and soon it will start turning corrupted and nasty. Thankfully all the trees over here are already dead, so yeah, you can see all the green has gone from this area. So that's why we don't want this near our colony. Because this would have killed all our crops and our trees. How's the other side doing? Yeah, oh, this is one big nasty river. Look at this. Oh, this is flowing fast. And I think, yeah, this mixes with the existing river. And, oh, yeah, this is gonna be one giant nasty reservoir of water now, because this will stop flowing soon. So building this dam might not be a bad priority, actually. Because once this stops flowing, this will start encroaching on our trees as well. How are we doing in our little base? Yeah, the water has stopped flowing. The wheels have stopped turning. So our industry has halted right now. But we have 1100 water, 900 food. Almost 700 of which are carrots. So I think we're doing well on that front. And we only have one inventor not working, so we're not doing that bad on workforce. Oh yeah, you can see this creeping to our base already. And you can actually see the effect over here. So you see this ground is all turning nasty and corrupted. These trees, they are drying, they're not corrupted. Ah, okay. Yeah, all these oaks are drying out, so new oaks won't grow. So you can see, even though there's liquid here, this is all drying out. There's still a little bit of regular water in here, so hopefully this won't become like fully corrupted like this. Because I think that will actually actively kill plants. I don't think we can see that in action anywhere. Maybe over here? Yeah, it died from contamination. So these are drying, which will kill them in a certain amount of time. These have just died from the contamination, so you don't want that near your... or near our crops or trees. Hey, badtide ended. Nice. The settlement weathered its first bad tide. They are part of the seasonal cycle. Future bad tides won't be as forgiving, so stay sharp. Yeah, so this was like a tutorial bad tide. Okay, but we have 125 planks, we have some gears, we have logs. Let's unpause this staircase. Have them start working on this dam to protect our colony from this happening in the future. And let's keep an eye on our dams. Because now we're seeing the reverse. So as soon as this has become nice and blue again, we're gonna switch around the dams. And we'll probably get a bit of corruption in our colony because we can't fully flush this out. And right now, because this was only a one-day drought, it's not that critical or bad tide. So we still have water left in our river, so we are not really in a hurry. But for future bad tides, it might be an issue that we can't fully flush this out, so we might at some point have to invest in dynamite and start lowering this so we can fully drain out all the corrupted water. But I think for now this is probably good enough. And we can start letting it flow back to our colony again, because it will add more fresh water before it overtops, so this will be highly diluted. I think we should be fine. Yeah, you can see there's almost no reddish hue to this water anymore. By the time it flows over our dam, it should just be nice and blue water. Maybe a little purplish. And then we can start supplying our colony with water again. Yeah, so there is still a bit of red in there. But yeah, it's heavily diluted, so I think this should be fine. These berry bushes all look happy with the water they're getting, so... No, it's actually... It's taking longer to completely flush out the corruption than I thought, because there's still a reddish glow in here. Yeah, so that is something to look into for the future. We might have to start blowing up parts of this so we can build a larger dam over here and let all the water out into our side river. There's still a little bit of corruption in here. But all in all, the river itself looks fine. I don't see any reddish glow. And a tiny bit over here. But you can see the land is turning green again, so it should not be an issue. Yeah, how about the other dam? Over here, all the corruption is already flushed out. Okay. I did not expect that. We can start filling up this reservoir again and letting it flow into the colony. That will take a little while to fill up. Oh wow, it already flushed out all the way to over here. Even the ruins turn green when there's water flowing near them. Only they have vines and stuff. That's pretty cool. I didn't know they would turn green as well. Because usually they look like this. Oh, I mean, you can see the plants. Okay, fair enough. Now, how are these oaks doing? They are slowly dying. You can see some corruption over here. Okay, but they're not getting actively killed by the contamination, so that's good, because I was also afraid that would happen. So I guess the contamination will just dry them out. Okay, so that's not as bad as I was afraid of. Oh, they've already started working on this. Nice. Good job, guys. And the water is back in our river. How are we doing with flooding over here? I think the physics are behaving themselves today. I'm not seeing any floods over here, so that's good. So either this worked... Oh no, we're getting a little flood over here. Okay, so this levee does work. Because otherwise we would have had a flood over here as well, I think. But this is fine. As long as no buildings flood, I'm happy. And we're pushing out the bad water again, so that's good as well. Nice. But I think this is a nice place to end it for today. We survived our first bad tide, and we finally have metal on the go. So not as spectacular of a change as last time, but I think an important consolidation effort nonetheless, just to make sure we can keep this colony going. And then we can slowly start looking at expanding again, but in a more controlled manner, I guess. So, thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.